Point of view is going to be broken down into these narratives. Who's ever taken a writing class? Okay, so you've heard these narratives, right? Somewhat, for the most part. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get to my spot. Okay. So we're going to go over third-person narrative, first-person narrative, second-person narrative, direct address. Now, hopefully you noticed my note here. It's an important note that I want everybody to feel comfortable in this space, and I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable anywhere, because we are all in this together, and therefore we're all going to be in this comfortable space together, okay? So, third-person narrative. In the third-person narrative, the singer is outside of the situation, okay? We call this, in school, we used to call it the storyteller narrative, right? And the way you would use that is, he loved her so much, yet she failed to return his love. You know what I mean? So, he loved her so much, but she failed to return his love. Okay? We call this the storyteller's narrative. Sometimes we call it the God's narrative. Why do we call it the God's narrative in school? Is because this narrative is omniscient. It knows everything. There is nothing that this narrative doesn't know. It knows the past, future, present, everything, okay? And the way we're going to do this, and I get to use my new whiteboard, which I'm super excited about. Why, thank you. Alex put it together and everything. So the way we're going to do this is basically you want to think of a camera lens, okay? And I'm just going to draw this as an example of what we're talking about while we do this, okay? Can everybody see this? Yeah, pretty much? Okay. So, the first thing I want you to do is visualize you're using a camera lens, okay? So we're going to just kind of do this like a director would, you know? So everybody kind of get in that space with me? All right? Okay, now everybody vogue. Okay, no, okay. So, in the God's narrative, in the storyteller narrative, in the third-person narrative, we're dealing with the widest angle of the experience, okay? We call this the relationship between the singer and the audience, okay? You guys are my audience today. I am your singer, all right? So, at the widest lens, it's, like I said, it's omniscient. It knows everything. It only reacts to what's happening. So, I am essentially saying, you know, he loved her so much, yet she failed to return his love. I'm going, hey, everybody, let's all turn over this way, and let's look at these people that are all messed up. You know what I mean? So I'm going like, look what he did. Look what he did to her. And then he still wants her love. And she's not going to give it back. Look at that, you know? So what I'm doing as the singer, as the storyteller in this narrative, what I'm trying to tell you is just about the facts, what's happening, okay? So in this one in this little chart here, we'll put third person, right? And we'll put widest angle, okay? You guys can take photos of this at the end of the class if you'd like. And what we'll put here is just as a reference to the way we're going to reference this is we'll just put facts. Okay? So at the widest angle, you're able to see the whole playing board, the whole chessboard, right? So, does everybody got that? Okay. So now we're going to go into the next one, which is a tighter relationship. A tighter relationship between me, the singer, and you, the audience, okay? In school, we used to call this the bartender narrative because it's a great way of telling all of you how I feel about something that happened to me. So in this instance, I, the singer, am the lonely bar guy, and you're the bartender. So I say, I loved her so much, but she never returned my love, right? So we'll do that here. We'll put first person. All right? Now, I'm giving you these nicknames so that you can remember throughout the class, we're going to refer to them as the academic name, first person, third person, okay? Sound good? Okay, we're going to keep rolling here. The next one is the second person narrative. This one's my favorite because this one actually makes me and most people most uncomfortable in a song. All right? This is so think of, again, the camera lens, right? You're looking at the camera lens and you're all wide up, and then you get your other lens and it gets a little tighter, right? So the relationship gets closer, right? Singer to audience. In the second person narrative, we called this one the Bestie narrative, okay? And there's a reason why we called it the Bestie narrative, because if you notice by my example here, you loved her so much, yet she failed to return your love. Immediately, that gives you a relationship. And the reason why we call it the Bestie in school was because everyone has that one friend, you know? That one that grabs you by the shoulders and is like, it's going to be okay, man. Yeah, I know you loved her, but she didn't love you back. You know what I mean? Here's why this narrative is my favorite. Well, it's my favorite. It's also the one that I have the hardest time writing. But the reason it's my favorite is because this is a great way of writing a song when you want to feel safe as the singer. I'm telling you what's wrong with you. You're never going to be able to respond. It doesn't even matter if I'm complimenting you. It feels super creepy because you're not able to have an interaction with it. You're not able to explain why I'm saying. It's like me going up to Danny and being like, Danny, you are like so awesome. You're the nicest guy ever. And I've never met anybody that is cool and is awesome and handsome and has the coolest hair I've ever seen. And you're just like the best, right? Feels weird, right? So then Danny goes, okay, but why do? And I was like, no, listen, you're the best. I'm telling you, you're the best. You don't even know, but you're the best. And it feels super weird, right? So that is a great one. Now, this is also, and I know some of you are going to use this narrative because this is also the revenge narrative. Everybody loves themselves some good vengeance. You know what I mean? So the reason why this is so good for revenge is because you can just curse out and say to the world how much your ex whatever was the worst person to exist ever. You know? And you could just shit all over them and they won't be able to do anything. They'll hear the song and they'll be like, that's about me, but I can't even say anything. So that's why the second person narrative is a lot of fun. The last one, the one that I write in the most, the one I write songs in the most of is direct address. This one is all about the relationship. Me, the singer, you, the audience. This is deeper than any of the other narratives because this one is about two things, just me and you. You know? It's me looking at something like me looking at Reyes and go, I love you so much. But you won't return my love, man. I don't understand. But you see, there's an interaction there, you know? There's an immediate response from the listener, from the audience. So as a singer, you're telling the audience, because here's a fun fact, everybody's got baggage, right? Everybody. And Bob shakes his head, no. The hell you don't. I've known you for 10 years, bro. Everybody's got baggage. Everyone is going to put their baggage into their song. Everybody. And everybody, and most importantly, everybody that doesn't create music, they're going to put their baggage in your song. That's super important because this goes back to that conversation I talked about earlier about the open ending. You guys remember that when I was saying like, you know, there's all this defense of like, I like to write in a mystery and I don't like to tell everybody what the thing is, right? But the reality is the act of songwriting is to be as clear as possible with your message. And the reason for that is because no matter how clear you are, that person is always going to put their own perspective on it. Whoever the listener is. If you don't believe me, listen to a song and tell me what it means to you. and then see if it means that to the artist. It probably doesn't most of the time, because no one's going to know who your dad was or who your mom was or who your boyfriend was or who your girlfriend was, you know? It's just not going to be that. So direct address is the best way of immediately grabbing someone by the shoulders and just having that connection.